Ladies and gentlemen, Kim here. Welcome to the Daily Update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Hope you guys had a good week trading last week. I was gone. I was traveling. I am back. Good to be back. Thank you very much for all your comments and shout outs and things like that. Market pretty much hasn't done really not much anything since I was gone. Pretty much sideways grinding. I think I was gone. When was I gone here? Let me just quickly, let's be more precise with that. When I was gone, 26th, I believe. So yeah, so this is what happened here. This is what happened. Since this is where I left, that's where we're at. Market absolutely did nothing, just been grinding up and down sideways. And so we'll talk about all of that and see where the market potentially be heading this week here. And so today's Wednesday already. Wow, so we got 2 more days for this week. It looks like S&P did close the day with a 0.16% positive. Nasdaq's about same. Semiconductor 0.6. Dow, small caps, and the banks about same, about 0.1215% gains there. Energy did make a move today, up 2% there. Transport is the only sector in this list with the red print, about down 1% there. Biotech up a little bit, emerging market up a little bit. Grayscale Bitcoin did find a little bit of jump today, 5% positive. Gold, silver, miners, they're up a little bit. Flat. Silver did caught a bid there, it looks like today. Oil's up about $1.2 flat. Treasury bond up a little bit. VIX is down a little bit. Let's stick with the S&P Spider 65-minute chart here. So something we talked about, before I left, is that we want to continue to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers. As long as we continue to cultivate an uptrend. So are we in an uptrend or downtrend? So if you look at things just on your screen here, we can look at that as a low, that's a higher low, that's a higher low, that's a higher low, and that's a high, higher high, higher high. You can see that structurally we are in this short-term uptrend, and we see the short-term moving average is guiding that move. Even with the today, despite the fact that we did see these pullbacks, we saw that back in 21st, and then we saw that 24th before I left, and then just yesterday it looks like we saw that pullback. Each time you can see that we slowed down, the selling slowed down, and a little bit of buying activities occurred, right on that short-term moving average. It is no mistake, it is no coincidence, it is not a random occurrence that when we did see some selling, and that was an area that the selling kind of slowed down here. So you can see we did see a little bit of pop today, earlier today, and this is today's price section right here, and then it kind of came back down, retest that short-term moving average. So we actually retest the short-term moving average twice today, and then on the last side we saw a little bit of bump, made the S&P close the day with a slightly positive numbers there in the equity market here. So I want to continue to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers in the short term with higher lows and higher highs, and we are in a short-term uptrend. I think the really important part was this right here, right? That's a major. When I say major, I don't mean like, that's a major for this entire uptrend that we've been in the last year or so. I'm just talking about in maybe this month and in the month of May, right? What we've been in this month of May, because we saw that correctional move right here, and then we saw that little double bottom right on the midterm moving average. We talked about the midterm moving average, that it has impressive resume, and we need to take advantage, and we have to make sure, pay attention to this level. So that midterm moving average, we found solid support, got into that double bottom here, and that will be the neckline, right? We got above that neckline. So once we cultivated that higher high after these double bottoms, I think right then short to midterm sentiment really shifted to bullish. It's been grinding here, but hey, it's better. Even though it's grinding, it's better that this market is continuing in the short term things. They were staying above the short term moving average and establishing, continue to cultivate a short-term uptrend. And so currently I'll look at 419 as important level here. That's the current pivot that you can see, right? Pivot means prior resistance acting as new support, right? If we do lose 419 with some sort of shenanigan gap down tomorrow or something, then definitely 417 is going to be a stronger support, because not only that's the neckline of this double bottom here, but that's coinciding with the gap area. So every time when you see technicals colliding like that, you want to pay attention to it, because that's going to be an important level should the price retest that vicinity. And I think micro term resistance will be right here. So if you want to look at this as like a fractal, right? See that double bottom and the neckline? Well, we got the little tiny ones right here. We got the little tiny double bottom here, and there's a neckline right there. So unless it breaks above that neckline, stay above it for an hour or so, then that's going to be still acting as resistance there. That's what is that? 421. So you want to see this thing getting above the new all-time high level here, right? And keep printing new all-time highs. We want to see that that's going to be micro-term resistance at 421. Break above it and do something like this. In that process, that short-term moving average getting up here, and then make that higher high for the first time since early May. So we've been actually below the all-time high level since May, about a month or so, a little less than a month. We've been below it. We haven't cultivated new all-time highs. It looks like we did see that gap up. Was it yesterday? And it quickly was sold, and then we kind of retesting that 419 level. So I think overall we want to continue to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers, and I'm giving you 419 and 417 in the gap area, right? And if you're a bear here, you really want this market to be dismantled, right? You really want to see lower prices. First things first, needs to fill this gap. The more the gap's open, the longer it stays, the more hectic, the more the momentum that buyer is going to find. Right? So you can see that this gap's still open. That's technically an island gap. Remember we talked about this, and this is an island breakaway gap, and we got the continuation gap. The longer this gap stays open, the more the market is gonna favor the buyers. That means when I say market is gonna favor the buyers, when I say benefit of the doubt goes to the buyers, I don't mean we're not gonna see any kind of pullback. We will see a pullback, obviously, that's given. However, in an event that we see a pullback or shenanigan, benefit goes to the buyers, meaning some of these pivotal levels, you will see buyers stepping in, buying those dips. That's kind of what I mean. So if you're a bear here, you really want to see this gap disappearing, getting filled, and then this gap getting filled. As long as we see these gaps open, we want to continue to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers. Let's check out that oscillator and see if we can extract any more information. So I'm going to zoom in here to the oscillator because it looks like we might have, that's not enough. Technically it's crossed. It ain't going to be enough because, depending on what happens tomorrow, if the market does not go up tomorrow, it moves sideways because of the momentum, right? Because of this momentum here, we do have a lower high on that oscillator and lower low. You see that? Because of this short-term downtrend momentum on that oscillator, if the price moves sideways, you're gonna see this in curling back down and keep coming back down. The oscillators are coming back down to retest some of the lows here. So if you're a buyer and you're really expecting this oscillator get back up and finding that traction to the upside, and we have to, first of all, let's actually, we forgot to talk about this. This is how the market, when benefit of the doubt goes to the buyers, this is what we call what? Correcting through time. You can see how the market hasn't gone anywhere, but through that, oscillators actually reset. And not to mention, we actually had bearish divergence, and bears are not materializing from this. That's a bearish divergence here, and bulls are very, very adamant. So you can see the oscillator did see a tankage, but we're not seeing tankage in the price. Price is actually consolidating through time, while the oscillators did see that correction, did resetting, because that's what bulls needed, because bulls got tired after this move. Bulls needed to see this oscillator coming back down before a big push, because you can see bulls made a big push here after it hit that what? Oversold level. And once it got tired, what happened? Grind. But then while the bulls are grinding, propped up, floating up, what happened to the oscillator? It started to reset, right? So this isn't really good for the bears at this point. If this thing gets fully crossed, it really isn't gonna be good for the bears. So I think what the buyers need to do is really need to get above that the micro term resistance, that little double bottom, the micro double bottom there, and start to make a move at least first 2 hours. If you see first 2 hours of bullish move to the upside and hold above that 421 micro term resistance, that neckline, double bottom neckline, I think if we see something like that, you will see this thing fully crossing up and ready to tackle that new all-time high level. Obviously, I'm going to be tweeting things out tomorrow if we do see something like that. If not, if the bears come and we lose 419, bears going to definitely for sure going to go after this gap and retest 417. And that, you're going to see this oscillator coming back down and possibly retest this low here. So let's see how the market behaves tomorrow morning. I'll come back and I'll tweet things out on Twitter and stock tweets at 2KKim. And then we'll re-examine, see where the market is at, right? We'll go from there. You guys enjoy the rest of this evening and good luck trading tomorrow.